Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to more WWE 2K20. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, but now we are back in the swing of things today, and today I've got another 2K20 video for you today. However, it's not going to be the video that you all kind of expecting. We're not actually going to do any gameplay here. Now, y'all are probably going to ask, well, if we ain't going to do any gameplay, what exactly are we going to do? Well, 2 days before Thanksgiving, we managed to finish the My Career Mode. That is done. It is over with, as you can see here on the menu screen. So today we are going to review the entire game. Yes, we are going to review WWE 2K20 as a whole. We're not just going to review the career mode, we're going to review everything after I've had the spare time to complete everything that there is to complete in the game and manage to prepare my cliff notes. We are going to review this game as a whole. Now, in this review, we are going to grade the game on a 0 to 10 rating scale, and that will determine the letter grade that I give this game at the end of the video. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin today's video, be sure to smash that thumbs up button as hard as you possibly can. Share this video on all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And if you are subscribed, you all know the drill by now. Please be sure to turn them notifications on to stay notified, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, let's begin today's review of WWE 2K20. Let's go for about 50 likes. I don't think it can be done, but who knows? Maybe you all can prove me wrong. So, enough chitter chatter, let's get in to the review of WWE 2K20. Just a heads up before we begin with the first topic of this review, if you have not completed My Career Mode or have not finished watching My Career Mode, this is a heads up right now. This video does contain spoilers, so if you have not played for the career mode or have not finished career mode, I suggest you turn this video off right now and go and either finish playing or finish watching the career mode to avoid any spoilers. Otherwise, if you have already done both of the things I just mentioned, then you are free to watch this video. So let's begin with the first topic. Since the introduction of My Career Mode in WWE 2K15, the mode has pretty much been a hit and miss for 2K. However, this year, this response is going to shock a lot of people, and some of y'all are probably going to disagree with me, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I believe 2K actually hit a home run this year with the My Career Mode. Now, in previous years, you would start in NXT, you create your superstar, you'd start in NXT, work your way up to the main roster, and, you know, it was just the same old story over and over again. 2K20's My Career Mode's actually pretty great. I'm not going to say it's perfect. I'm not going to say it's awesome because I do have a couple nitpicks. However, those nitpicks are minor nitpicks, so not enough to keep it out of the good portion of this review. So this is why it is in the good portion of the review. Now, with that said, 2K19 last year, I felt like there was barely even a story to it, if any at all. I feel like the story was rushed together at last minute, and not to knock the voice acting from AJ Kirsch, Mansoor from NXT, and whoever the heck played Baron Blade, or should I say, the Blade of Baron. You can thank Matt Hardy for that one. But I feel like 2K19's My Career Mode was just a basic 8-hour Raw marathon. There was no story to it. The main antagonist was supposed to be Baron Blade, but in the end, it just ended up being AJ Styles and Triple H. The same old Austin McMahon, a 40-figure angle that we're all so sick and tired of seeing, not just in video games, but also in real life WWE. Now, there are 40 figures present in WWE 2K20's My Career Mode. However, they don't really, I shouldn't say have a major part in the story, because they clearly don't. They have like small parts, but they don't play a factor into what happens in the story. Excuse me. You could technically make a case for Brooklyn Von Braun, who is one of the main antagonists of the My Career Mode, but she was general manager of SmackDown for what, less than a month, and then she stepped down to become Trey's partner to replace Ronda Rousey, who was Trey's partner in the Mixed Match Challenge, and of course, her evil plan came to fruition, and y'all know how that story played out. I got where the story was going the entire time. I can honestly say this was the first year that 2K managed to get me deeply involved into the My Career Mode. They got me intrigued by the story. I got where the story was heading the entire time, and it did its job. It was basically like a movie, you could say, but like any movie, it has its high points and its low points. One of my minor nitpicks, I feel like in Chapter 13, I started to get confused a bit with the story. I didn't quite know where it was going when Red and Trey took the trip to the Netherrealm, but then of course once reality set in and they got back from the Netherrealm, that basically led, not necessarily led, but planted the seeds, excuse me for stuttering my words right there, to set up a match between Trey and The Undertaker, and of course we would end up doing that match inside Hell in a Cell at Survivor Series. While Chapter 13 left me confused a bit, going back on the WWE Network and watching the feud that Randy Orton had with The Undertaker in 2005 of all these nightmare visions and stuff leading up to the Armageddon pay-per-view where those two would meet in Hell in a Cell. You know, at the end of the day, it's The Undertaker. You're gonna see illusions and, you know, all this futuristic stuff. So that's to be expected when you get into a feud with The Undertaker. So it kind of made sense, and I guess I kind of got where they were going with that, but it still left me a bit confused. Chapter 12 started off really funny when Red threw up in Trey's face when he got jealous of Red getting her first action figure, and of course they'd have a short skit with Lana and Rusev, but I feel like the rest of the chapter was just not that interesting, and not gonna say it was bad or boring by any means, but it just sucked the air out of the story a tad bit. You know, once you had to make a decision whether or not to drop tag titles and Mickey retire or retire Mickey yourself, Mickey James, that is, that just, it was hard to kind of make those decisions, and I felt like it was almost a rehash of Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels, but in a very good way. This is not to knock it in a very negative way, because I saw some good in the storyline. It just, I wish they could have found a different way to kind of go about that, but it is what it is at the end of the day. In Chapter 15, where we did the Mixed Match Challenge, I've wasn't really intrigued by that as well, but it continued to plant the seeds for chapters 16 and 17, where eventually Brooklyn Von Braun would reveal the secret, etc., etc. Of course, being the entertaining guy that I am, I tried to come up with different outfits for Patrick Murphy, aka Trey, to wear out to the ring. We, I think, impersonated Hulk Hogan when we teamed with Ronda Rousey. So I tried to make things funny, you know, kind of keep people intrigued within my career mode. Excuse me again. But overall, the story was great. I got where I was going the entire time. I wish they wouldn't have booked Trey to be this big idiot. I get the direction that they got with it. I just wish they wouldn't have booked Trey to be this big idiot. Regardless of how I would have done the story, I would have booked Kristen Murphy, who we created this year, aka Red, to be the badass regardless. I would change nothing about Red. I feel like Red, with her temper and everything, I feel like they gave her Paige's personality. With her temper, the way she cut her promos, the way she just acts sometimes, her being egotistical, you know, that reminded me a lot of Paige, because Paige had a bit of a temper. She was egotistical. At times she was unloyal, not necessarily disrespectful, but she just wasn't loyal to the partners that she had, and that Red just reminded me a lot of Paige in that aspect. Like I said, I feel like they could have booked Trey in a different way to make him look just as strong as Red and not made him to be this big idiot. They could have made him less of an idiot. But then again, looking at myself in real life and my persona of what I could be in a professional wrestling ring, let alone in professional wrestling in general, aka sports entertainment, I don't really take myself, like, I take things seriously in life, but I don't take things seriously, like, on screen. I want to be that comedian of the entire group, you know, make people laugh, make sure they're entertained at the end of the day, because if I took myself to be this serious professional wrestler who just only focused strictly on being a professional wrestler, it'd be boring. It'd be dull, you know. It would not be entertaining at all, and I would not enjoy my job. So, on hindsight 2020 of that, I'm actually kind of glad they booked Trey to be this idiot that he was. It's slightly at times, it could be a tad bit annoying, but, you know, Trey, being the idiot that he is, definitely made for some entertaining television with the career mode. I think one of my favorite parts, he was like, oh, I thought I drew number 2. Oops, I'm sorry, I broke Sin Cara's trampoline. I need to go apologize to him. And then, of course, Sin Cara would jump on that trampoline and break the trampoline. I can't stop laughing about that. That's how funny that segment was. I think probably one of the best segments of the My Career Mode. It was just hilarious all around, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like they gave Trey R-Truth's personality. With that being said, with him being the idiot that he is, he reminds me a lot of R-Truth. R-Truth isn't an idiot by any means, but just the way he acts, you know, Trey reminds me a lot of R-Truth. And R-Truth, of course, if you personally ask me, with the 24/7 championship is one of the best things going in WWE right now. So it was nice to see that 2K gave Red Paige's personality, and giving Trey R-Truth's personality. It definitely made for some entertaining television. In the end, of course, it made me feel sorry for Trey once Brooklyn Von Braun revealed not Kristen Murphy's secret, of course. Kristen Murphy is the female character that we created for the My Career Mode. But once she revealed Red's secret about Trey's birth parents being dead, that made me feel sorry for Trey. It made you think, like, how would you react in that situation? I honestly don't know how I would have reacted in that situation, but I probably may have reacted the same way Trey did. He would not talk to Red, he would not speak to her, anything like that. But then once everything settled down, once he stopped being angry and everything, that's when I would say, I get why you did it. You wanted to protect me all along, and this and that. And so I felt like it made me feel sorry for Trey, but in the end, the big payoff for both Red and Trey was getting to defeat both Brooklyn Von Braun and Samoa Joe at WrestleMania. Now, with the antagonists, in past years, it really didn't matter, especially with 2K19. Like, 2K19 had one antagonist, but ended up being two other antagonists playing out at the end of the story. 2K20 managed to bring in two antagonists and kept two antagonists the entire time. And although Samoa Joe did get fired at the end of chapter... I want to say... Yeah, it was chapter 9 or chapter 10. No, it was chapter 9. It's been a while, ladies and gentlemen, because it's been a while since I've played the My Career Mode. But Samoa Joe got fired at the end of chapter 9. And of course, eventually he would make his return at the end of chapter 14, looking to get his revenge on Trey and destroy him after what happened 7 years ago when Trey defeated Samoa Joe for the Universal Championship, which was a fluke, if you personally ask me. But, it did its job with the antagonist. They made you really, really, really hate the antagonists throughout the story. Brooklyn Von Braun, there's a reason why I nicknamed her Brooklyn Von Bitch. Or should I say the Vindictive Bitch? Because that's exactly what she is. An evil, conniving, vindictive bitch. Whoever played her in real life is not that person, but in the game, you just want, you want to punch her right in the face. That's how bad I hated Brooklyn Von Braun, but 2K did their job at the end of the day. They made you hate the antagonist, and made you want to wonder why they're doing it, and when the big payoff is going to be. Of course, in the end, once Red and Trey officially defeated Brooklyn Von Braun and Samoa Joe at WrestleMania, it made you wonder, what happened after WrestleMania. Of course, we know Red and Trey got inducted into the Hall of Fame, but after that, we faded to black, and it made you wonder. It was kind of a cliffhanger to end the story. Like, it made you wonder, did Red and Trey truly retire? Did they remain retired? Some theories has suggested that they did remain retired in the end. They came back for one more WrestleMania match. That's it. Now, whether or not they came back for more WrestleMania matches after that remains to be seen. Of course, in real life WWE, we see these legends come back for WrestleMania matches. Sometimes one too many, but that's just my own personal opinion. But that's what some theories have suggested. But it left the door open for me to kind of make a spin-off from that, maybe do a My Career universe. I'm not going to say it's going to be a permanent feature on the channel, and because of how much time it goes into making these videos, especially in my career universe video where we have to feature an entire Monday Night Raw or an entire SmackDown or NXT. You know, there's a lot of time and effort that I put into making these videos, and I'll be honest right now, after finishing the My Career mode, right now I am just tired and mentally exhausted, so we don't know when we'll actually start the My Career universe, but towards the end of the My Career mode, the way it ended, you know, it left the door open for me to do that, and it gave me a couple possible storyline ideas for the My Career universe, but that remains to be seen. But overall, I really enjoyed the My Career mode this year. It was great. It had me intrigued in the story. It made me hate the antagonists. Of course, once again, shout out to Kylie Brown, who voiced and played Red in WWE 2K20's My Career mode, and also shout out to Brett Green, who also voiced Trey in WWE 2K20. Kylie, Brett, you all did one hell of a job playing Red and Trey in WWE 2K20. So, with that said, thank you, Kylie Brown and Brett Green, for giving us an amazing career mode this year, an amazing experience with Red and Trey. And also a quick shout out to 2K for giving us a hell of a career mode this year. I personally feel like it was a major step up from WWE 2K19's My Career mode, and is definitely a step in the right direction for the My Career mode. I feel like with 2K21, if they can keep the momentum with next year's My Career mode and build off of this year's, you know, we could possibly have an amazing My Career mode this year. So, you know, we'll have to see what 2K does at the end of the day. But overall, great career mode, great voice acting by Brett Green and Kylie Brown. So, with that being said, let's move on to topic number 2. So one of the new things 2K introduced this year to WWE 2K20 was 2K Originals, where they introduced brand new storylines, brand new futuristic, wacky content that we all enjoyed in WWE 2K19 and in WWE 2K20, and they really did a good job of doing that so far this year. I can't really give it a detailed review because all 4 of the DLCs aren't out yet. Only the Bump in the Night DLC is out right now. I felt like the Bump in the Night DLC was decent, but it was a bit disappointing. Like, I felt like they could have done more with the Bump in the Night DLC, and one of the things that pissed me off was that they were supposed to give us Bump in the Night day friggin' 1 at the game's release, and they didn't. They ended up delaying the release of the DLC a week after the game came out was when the DLC for Bump in the Night finally came out. That's minor, but what really pissed me off was that afterwards you had to go and beat the Fear is Power Tower to unlock the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, who was one of the pre-order exclusives this year. Now, okay, I get he's part of the Bump in the Night DLC, but logic sense, this is just common sense, 2K. If we weren't gonna get the Bump in the Night DLC day 1, I feel like we should have at least gotten the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, day 1. As a pre-order exclusive character, you know? That's just common sense. Come on, 2K, you dropped the ball with that one. But with that minor complaint and nitpick, good content, but I feel like It's just there, you beat it, you unlock a bunch of decent stuff, and you're done. I like the original cases, not the original cases, the original showcases so far, but yeah, I just wish they could have done more of it, you know? Even if they couldn't add any more cutscenes, I feel like they should have at least acted voice acting to the voice-to-text, well, not voice-to-text, the text-to-speech story that they were trying to tell with the Bump in the Night DLC. I like the fact that they had Bray Wyatt do the commentary during the Demon Within showcase in the Bump in the Night DLC, but that was just it, and they really need to step their game up. Of course, we got the Wastelands original DLC coming out very soon, hopefully before Christmas. Not exactly 100% sure. The one I'm looking forward to the most is Southpaw Regional Wrestling, and if you don't know what that is, go and check it out. That is some great content, and I look forward to doing some content with Southpaw Regional Wrestling. And I think we have a futuristic 2K original DLC coming out. So, like I said, it's great content so far, but I can't give it a detailed review. And personally, I just feel like it's there. You unlock a bunch of cool stuff, and you're done. That's just, it basically serves its purpose to keep us intrigued with the game. Not necessarily intrigued, but keep us playing the game until 2K21 comes out. And, you know, I just feel like they could have done more with 2K Originals. So, on to the mediocre of WWE 2K20. There wasn't a whole lot of good with 2K20, but the two things that I did find good with 2K20, while I did have nitpicks, were pretty good for the most part, and were pretty much the shining light of 2K20. But now we go from the good to the mediocre, and there's some mediocre about this game, and spoiler alert, there's also a lot of bad. On to part 2 of this review. Since there isn't a whole lot of points on the mediocre section of this review, I've decided to combine this into one part, so I'm going to keep this as short and brief as possible. So let's begin with point number 1, showcase mode. What is there to say about it? It's just there. Honestly, unless you're a trophy hunter like myself, there are plenty of other modes to play in 2K20. Honestly, you should not waste your time with showcase mode. If you want to see what happened within showcase mode, just go back and watch the matches on the WWE Network. Hell, the WWE themselves have full matches on YouTube, so why should you even bother playing showcase mode? It shouldn't even be at the game at all. It shouldn't even be in the game at all. And personally, if we have to have some sort of showcase mode, I'd much prefer they bring back Road to WrestleMania, because that was fun. It was original stories. It had its cutscenes, sure, but it was very entertaining, to say the least. I really enjoyed Road to WrestleMania. Showcase mode, it sucks. There's no other plain nice way of putting it, and it doesn't need to be in the damn game. Universe mode, point number 2. 0 improvements were made to universe mode. Hold on. I take that back. There was one improvement. They increased the match count from 7 matches to 14 friggin' matches. And even right now, with the game as buggy as it is, it doesn't even give you the full 14 matches. At best, it'll give you 10. So, why do you even have universe mode in there? That's my question. Like, if you want to make universe mode interesting, allow us to create our own original stories. Allow us to have GM elements in universe mode. That's simple. But yet, you all don't add that, 2K. So, honestly, why should we even bother playing universe mode? If you're not gonna care about it, why should we care about even playing it? So honestly, if you ain't gonna make improvements to it, that shouldn't even be in the game either. And the final point, I feel like 2K you guys didn't get the memo on Towers Mode when we said we wanted something more for rewards than just virtual currency and tokens, etc. to spend on our My Players in My Player mode. You know, we want cool stuff, cool attires, you know, maybe even unlockable superstars within Towers Mode. This way here we ain't gotta purchase them with DC just to unlock them. You know, as much as I didn't like having to unlock the Fiend in the Tower mode, I'd much rather have a superstar or an alternate attire as an unlockable by beating the Tower than just virtual currency, you know? You know, even the towers are so easy to beat. That's all there is to it. They're all so easy to beat. Even the Roman Reigns story tower was easy to beat on a legend difficulty. And with that said, I feel like y'all should add another, if not two more difficulty options above legend, like immortal, Hall of Famer, you know, something to give us pro players like myself a challenge, you know, make us want to play the game, you know, give us the challenge that we need to keep playing it, you know. That you all just, man, you all really dropped the ball with Towers mode, in my personal opinion. Universe mode, if y'all ain't gonna care about it, take it out the game. And 2K Showcase, pretty self-explanatory. I'm not talking about the 2K originals. That stuff is good. I'm talking about the main showcase itself. That just shouldn't be in the game at all. I mean, hell, we got the WWE Network these days. They just updated it to where if we want to see a certain match on the pay-per-view or a SmackDown or whatever, we can just skip right to it and watch it. There's no need in having showcase mode in these games anymore. Or if we have to have a showcase mode, bring back Road to WrestleMania. I'm begging you. That is way more entertaining than a dull-ass, boring showcase mode. Now, whew, that was a bit of a rant, but ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the main event of this review. And trust me when I say this is going to be the main event, because there's a lot that I need to get to with this next portion of this review, because there's a lot of bad and a lot of ugly of 2K20. And you all are probably going to hear me on a tirade at 2K when I go to the bad and ugly, ladies and gentlemen. So without any further ado, let's get this main event underway and expose the bad and ugly of 2K20. Oh boy, where do I even begin? We're gonna try and keep this as short and brief as possible, because there's a lot of bad and ugly people about WWE 2K20. Number one, the hit detection. I don't even know what to say. I mean, even with 3 patches now, I've just gotten to the point where I just don't even bother performing a running strike or a running springboard in general, because the hit detection is so bad, you ain't even gonna connect 50% of the time. Which leads me to the next point. There's just a lot of glitches in this game. I mean, seriously, 2K. A wrestling game should not have these many glitches, if any, at all, in 2019, heading into 2020. Wrestling games right now should be fucking amazing. That's how they should be in 2019, heading into 2020. But unfortunately, they're not. it's because of glitches and bugs. Now, don't get me wrong, some of them are pretty entertaining to watch. Don't get me wrong. But there are some that just plain outright piss you off and break the game and just ruins the experience for everyone. And it is just a total mess. And because of that, it leads to the game crashing. And this year, it's been crashing a lot. I mean, I can't even get to the second part of the entrance in the custom arena without the game crashing. I can't even use my custom arenas in universe mode without the game crashing. Hell, I can't even import certain parts from Superstar's attires over to a custom Superstar without the game crashing. That's how bad the game's been crashing this year. I mean, it just crashes at the most random points, and sometimes it can crash to where you didn't even save the game and you gotta start all over where you were before. It just shouldn't be like that at all. No new match types this year. Well, if you want to consider this a new match type, mixed tag team matches, and also the addition of the Mixed Match Challenge. But that's been in the series before, and that's honestly not a new match type. That's basically a match type making its return to the series. And that, I don't know why it should be like that. It just pisses me off because you have match types like Inferno Match and Buried Alive that were in showcase mode. Hell, in the career mode, you could do the last ride match. You have the winning animation for it. I don't understand why y'all don't put it in exhibition. Why isn't it in there? It baffles me. Create a Championship is missing. I know y'all have commented on the situation, but if Create a Championship is gonna break more than it's going to fix, then I feel like y'all shouldn't even put it in the game this year. Period. Oh man. This next point. You all clearly lied about the length of the career mode, and I watched the interview that Chris Dinker did with Lionel Jenks, and I forget the other guy who also did the interview with Chris Dinker, but they both did the interview with Chris Dinker, and they even said it in the previews leading up to 2K20 that the My Career mode was supposed to be at least 20 hours. We barely got to maybe 10, if that. Now, considering I like to have long drawn-out matches that tell a good story, and on top of that, you add the loading screens, then maybe it's 20 to 25 hours, but y'all lied about the damn length. It ain't no 20-25 hours. It's maybe 10, if not, maybe at the longest 15 hours. Alright, it ain't no 20 hours, you know, it ain't no Red Dead Redemption 2 long, alright? And that's just not a good look on y'all to lie about the length. I mean, that is just not a good look on y'all, and y'all lose credibility by saying stuff like that. Road to Glory and the online. Nobody this year has played Road to Glory, and I'm laughing about that because it is just so sad. I only had one online match in Road to Glory this year, and the dude that I was supposed to face ended up backing out as soon as he saw my rank. And it just, most of the online community, I'm not talking about the content creators right here, I'm mainly talking about the people who play the game online. The community, the online community who play this game online is just so toxic to the point where they troll you. They get you to the ground, they stomp you, and then boom, they hit their signature and finisher, match is done within 2 minutes. The online experience should not be like that, and then you just add the buggy servers on top of a broken game. it's not fun at all. The core gameplay this year is just an absolute cluster. There is no other way of putting it. You all had a perfectly good game with 2K19. It's not perfect by any means, but it was a step in the right direction. And you all just had to mess with the core gameplay. You all had to change the controls, which honestly is more convoluted and difficult than I believe the controls were for 2K19. I thought the controls for 2K19 were actually pretty good. They were simple. Yeah, there was a couple button combinations here and there, but for the most part, they were easy to get a hold of. It was easy to comprehend, easy to use, and y'all just completely messed that up this year with 2K20. Oh my god. I mean, y'all shouldn't just even mess with the controls, period. Y'all should just let them the way they were. Y'all said these new controls were supposed to make the game easier for new players to pick up and play. Honestly, if you ask me, it just made things more confusing. And because of how the core gameplay is this year, and the game is basically broken, you all have had a lack of communication with the community, with everything. I mean, there's just no other way of putting it. I mean, you all have basically been silent the entire time. As soon as the game is announced, you all were silent on the features, what was going to be in the game. You all were silent once the game was released. You all were silent as to why the game was broken and why there were so many glitches. Y'all didn't even say when y'all were gonna fix these glitches, and on top, there's just been a whole lack of communication, and you all 2K are doing the exact same thing that BioWare and EA did earlier this year with Anthem, and that is not right at all. In my opinion, you know, to build a strong relationship with the community, even beyond the last game's release, you all need to keep that communication going, even if the game is bad. You know, even if the game is bad, you know, you all still need to communicate with the community. Let us know when you all plan on fixing the game, when the next DLC is supposed to release, you know, just simple things like that. You know, keep your community engaged, communicate with us. You know, let us know when things are going to get better for the game. And y'all have just not done a good job of that this year at all. Y'all are doing the exact same thing EA and BioWare did with Anthem. And it is just not a good look on y'all 2K and Visual Concepts. And I hate slamming the developers at Visual Concepts, but they have to take just as much responsibility as the people that work above them, the suits and ties, as we like to call executives. I feel this game was like, I feel like the executives completely forced the developers to rush the game out in the broken state that it's in this year, just to make a quick dollar for the holiday season, especially with Christmas coming right around the corner. And that's not how it should be at all. And I'm going to touch on that point on the final portion of my review. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten the bad and ugly out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, and it is just a sad state on how the game is right now, ladies and gentlemen. And here is how 2K, y'all can improve the WWE 2K series going forward. So 2K, here's how you all can improve the WWE 2K franchise going forward. I've got a lot of points here on how y'all can improve the series, but I'm going to try to keep it as short and brief as possible. Number one being the most obvious. Get rid of 2K Showcase. Nobody plays it. We got the WWE Network if we want to go back and rewatch those matches. Hell, WWE uploads the full matches on YouTube, so there's no sense in having 2K Showcase in there. And even if we have to have some sort of showcase mode, bring back Road to WrestleMania. I don't know how many times I've said this already. I know Chris Danker has said this a bunch of times in various videos that he wishes y'all would bring back Road to WrestleMania. And that's, if y'all got rid of showcase mode and y'all wanted to incorporate some type of showcase mode, we would settle for Road to WrestleMania, because trust me, back in the days of SmackDown vs. Raw, when the series was known as SmackDown vs. Raw, that was a ton of fun back in the day. I really enjoyed it, and I wish y'all would bring it back. Fix all the bugs and glitches. That, I know that's simply said. What am I looking for here? Because I just messed it up. It's easier said than done. Alright? We all know that. But I feel like if they were fixed, we wouldn't be at this point right now where I'm having to slam you all for how bad the game is. That's all y'all gotta do. Just fix all the bugs and glitches. Even if that means, you know, if the game has to be delayed, do it. You know, but don't rush it out the door, a buggy cluster of a mess like you did this year with 2K20. You know, that's just, there's no other way of putting it. It's a hot pile of dog crap, and I'm ashamed to even be associated with this game right now. I want to be able to come on here at the end of the day and tell my fans, say, hey, you know, this is an awesome wrestling game. Y'all should go out and buy this game. We're going to have a ton of fun making tons of great content for the game this year. But this year, I cannot in good faith say that. And I got my platinum this year for a 5th year in a row. And I cannot in good faith take pride knowing that I got a platinum for a crappy game in 2K20. A platinum's supposed to be a great pride, a great sense of accomplishment. This year, it's not. It's almost like, you know, I'm at a midlife crisis here. Do I accept the platinum knowing I got it for a crappy game? You know, or do I go and wrestle a Judy Bagwell on a pole match against Vince Russo? You know, that's the point where I'm at right now. But, if, like I said, if you all have to delay it, so be it. If that means we fix all the bugs and glitches that are wrong with the game, so be it. I'm all down for it. I know that's going to piss off the suits and ties at 2K headquarters, and I know it's going to piss off WWE, because then that means they're losing a bunch of money on merchandise sales. But if that means we get a good wrestling game, then I'm all for it. If you guys truly care about Universe Mode, just add the custom stories option to Universe Mode. You know, add that. Add GM elements to Universe Mode. I know a lot of people said they want GM Mode to come back, but I feel like you all can add GM Mode elements to Universe Mode without having to bring General Manager Mode back. And I think if you all did that, I think Universe Mode could be one badass mode right now. And unfortunately it's not, and I wish it could be. This ain't really negative of what I'm about to say, but keep the stories fresh for my career mode every year, and keep the momentum that you all have built this year with 2K20's My Career Mode. It was pretty amazing this year, and I hope you all keep it up with 2K21. We could possibly have a great career mode with 2K21 next year if you all put the time and effort into it. This next point I'm about to make, I'm not talking about the event where 2K invites the popular content creators to play the near final build of the game. You know, they have their mindset on that, on who's gonna draw them the most money out of this game, who's gonna get them the most views. You know, that's not the event I'm talking about right here with the point I'm about to make, and let me explain. Electronic Arts, I've been fortunate enough to receive private beta codes for the upcoming sports titles from Electronic Arts, and I am very grateful that Electronic Arts has given me that opportunity to do so. They've allowed me to participate in upcoming betas, such past betas like in all the NHL betas, all the UFC betas, and most recently this year with FIFA 20. You know, I've been very fortunate. As much as I give EA a lot of crap, I've been very fortunate to receive a bunch of private beta codes to allow me and a ton of others who have played previous versions of the game to play the upcoming build for the game, and they've allowed us to give them the feedback that they need to hear. You know, what's good about the game, what's bad about the game, you know, what needs to be improved upon. I feel like 2K, if you all personally did that, then those who have played the game since, let's just say, for example, 2K16, you know, if you sent out the codes to those who've played the game since 2K16 to allow us to play an early build of the upcoming WWE game, then I feel like we could give you all the feedback that you all need. Like, you know, what's good about the upcoming WWE game, what's bad about it, what needs to be improved upon, etc., etc. Because I feel like, I'm not saying the popular content creators' opinions don't matter, because they damn sure do, and I appreciate everything that they do at those meetings, being vocal, telling you all, you know, what we want to see in these games and what needs to be improved upon. But I feel like their opinions are the only ones that matter. And I know a lot of y'all are gonna say, oh, you're bashing all these popular content creators and this and that, da-da-da-da-da. That's not what I'm doing right here. Alright, and to all the popular content creators who are gonna watch this video, or may hear about this video, if I personally offend you in any way, I personally apologize in advance. This is clearly not my intention. This was never my intention whatsoever, and will never be my intention. I appreciate all that you do for the community, and I personally cannot be thankful enough for it. But I just personally feel like those who played the game the most outside of the popular content creators, you know, it's like our opinions don't matter. And I feel like that those who play the game more than those popular content creators, those should be the opinions that should matter more, because we're the ones who come on here and play this game basically every day. I'm not saying those content creators don't play the game every day, because there's a couple of them that do, but you know, I feel like the ones who play it the most, those should be the opinions that matter. And I feel like if y'all allowed those who've played the game since 2K16, for example, to play an early build of the game and give you all feedback on it, I think that would help y'all in the long run, give you all a pretty good idea of what needs to be improved upon in the game. And I honestly would like to see that in the near future. And that basically touched on my next point, is to basically listen to your fans. You know, just listen to them. Don't do this lack of communication BS that EA, not necessarily EA, but BioWare did with Anthem. You know, that's not cool, man. You know, that just gives you all a bad look as a company, both publisher and developer, and that just loses credibility, man, and I don't want to see that. Don't add microtransactions to the game. Make Towers modes interesting, like I touched on before. Improve the online. And please, for God's sakes, for 2K21, I'm begging y'all to please go back to the old control scheme. And my final point, and this is what I don't get. 2K19 was not broken by any means, so if it ain't broken, why fix it? It shouldn't, nothing should have been messed with 2K19. I feel like if y'all would have just carried over 2K19 and improved upon it, y'all could have had a pretty badass game this year. But unfortunately, it's in the state that it is now, and I hate having to bash you all for it, but I have to call it like I see it. And this is not to degrade you all, but this is more so to, you know, help you all improve the game going forward. And I know the popular content YouTube, the popular content YouTube creators, don't get me wrong, their opinions matter just as much as those who actually play the game on a daily basis do. But I feel like those who play, they're just there to play career mode, and boom, they're done. They move on to other things, which is fine. I understand it. They have to do what they gotta do to make money. And right now in 2019, making money off of YouTube and Twitch is so damn hard. But I just personally feel like those who play the game 24/7, those should be the opinions that matter the most. And I feel like if y'all did the following things that I just mentioned to improve the series going forward, especially with AEW breathing down the WWE's neck, and God knows when their game's gonna come out, and when Yuke's new IP's gonna come out, if y'all don't hit a home run with 2K21, that's probably gonna force the WWE to shop around for new publishers and new developers for the series, and I don't want to see that. I think it's personally in good hands, and I would like to see the series get good going forward. Y'all seriously need to hit a home run with 2K21. So that's honestly how I feel about 2K20 and how y'all can improve the series going forward. So now that the review is in the books, as I said early on in the video before this review began, we are going to grade this game on a 0 to 10 rating scale, and that is going to determine the final grade of WWE 2K20. Now here's how the numbers will determine the final grade of WWE 2K20. Numbers 0, 1, and 2 gives this game an F. Numbers 3 and 4 give this game a D. Numbers 5 and 6 give this game a C. Numbers 7 and 8 give this game a B. Number 9 gives this game an A. And number 10 gives this game an A+. And spoiler alert, I can guarantee you this game is not getting an A+. The career mode this year, like I said early on in the review, was so badass. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. Outside of my couple nitpicks, I thought it was a great mode and definitely laid the foundation for 2K to continue the momentum for 2K21, my career mode. And I think 2K Originals was a great concept. It needs to be improved upon, but it definitely has a bright future in the series. And the two great things that make this game good, unfortunately, is overshadowed on all the other mediocre things about the game and how bad the game is in general. And I cannot, in good faith, give this game a great rating at all. So with that said, my final score of WWE 2K20 is a 4 out of 10. And therefore the final grade for WWE 2K20 is going to be a D. And it's a shame because I should have seen this coming when Ukes left 2K and Visual Concepts, and I also should have seen it coming when NBA 2K20 released in the state that it was in. That should have given me a clear telltale sign of how bad WWE 2K20 was going to be, but I wanted to give this game a fair shot, with this being Visual Concepts' first game without Ukes. I wanted to go in with an open mind, and I'm glad I did with the career mode, and 2K Originals, like I said, was good, but it needs to be improved upon. Everything else with the game is just either mediocre or bad all the way around. So, to all the gamers out there, all the wrestling gamers who are looking for a good wrestling game this holiday season, with Christmas right around the corner, if y'all badly want 2K20, I'm not gonna stop you. You know, it's your money at the end of the day. That's your decision. But personally, if y'all want a good wrestling game, I recommend y'all stick with 2K19 or buy Fire Pro Wrestling World. That is another great wrestling game. I know Retro Mania Wrestling's due out in spring of 2020. I also, of course, y'all have a PS2. Pop in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, one of the greatest wrestling games of all time. And I'm just trying to sit here and figure out how the hell we went from a perfect wrestling game in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain to the abysmal hot pile of dog crap that is WWE 2K20. Wrestling games should be amazing in 2019, and unfortunately they're not. WWE 2K20 ain't it, Chief. I feel like 2K, y'all don't know the definition of fun in a wrestling game, and that definitely needs to be worked on, because, you know, y'all need to hit a home run with 2K21. Otherwise, it's just going to create a whole world of problems that y'all personally don't need. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed this review. Be sure to smash that thumbs up button if you all enjoyed this review. Be sure to share this video on social media. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you all's love and support. For all of us at Patrick McSparron Productions, this is Patrick McSparron saying so long and signing off, and we'll see you next time.